Hello and welcome. Today's video is going to be a bit of a restoration for this Makita DA312D angle drill. So I will talk a little bit about this drill after the restoration, but for now I'm just going to show a time lapse of what I'm going to do to get this drill completely working like new again. It does work at the moment, but it's got a lot of sawdust in it, and I'm sure it can use some new grease in the gears in here because it is a 16-year-old drill. So I'm gonna start cleaning it up. So this is a 2005 Makita DA312D angle drill. It does have a variable speed trigger, and forward and reverse down here, and a lock. I bought this secondhand. I bought it because it was, well, first of all, I think it's a really cool little drill, and also it was the same price as buying the angle attachment for my Metabo multi-head drill, so I figured I might as well just get a proper angle drill than get the angle head from my Metabo drill. And I have to say, it's a really nice little drill. Like, there's no chuck wobble at all. And it was really clean. Like, as you saw, it was really clean inside. I did replace the grease because I thought some of the grease looked a little old and looked like it needed changing. So it runs on these Makita 12-volt batteries. Well, these aren't Makita, but it's the platform it runs on. One day I may very well do a video on converting this battery to lithium, because I have two of these red batteries and one of them isn't as good as the other, and since I have the three Makita tools, I'd kind of like to be able to use them properly. But it's a really nice little drill. Like, it's 2005, so 16 years old, from when tools were a lot tougher than some of them are now. Now, as you saw probably towards the end of the video when I was putting it back together, I put the motor in and the motor locked up on me, and also I couldn't get the shell back together properly. The motor locked up on me because I wasn't holding it together tight enough. I don't recommend running tools without the screws in, because apparently the gears can jump out. So the motor jumped out and it skipped a tooth on the gear and locked up. But I got it going by just turning it gently with the pliers. And also, when I couldn't get it back together, it's because I didn't have the motor, the back bearing on the motor in the appropriate hole, the appropriate holder for the bearings. So, like, when you take all the guts out of a tool, like I did, when you put them back, you want to make sure that everything's in the right place, because pretty much, at least in quality tools, all the wires have a little slot that they go in, and like all the motors have a specific place that they have to sit. And also, I found this out the hard way on another Makita drill, but when you're putting gears like the gears that you saw in here back together, you have to make sure that they're in the right spot, or else they aren't going to run properly. Like this one, you can tell that the gears are proper because it runs the same as it did before I took it apart. Whereas if you put the gears together wrong, it could very well make it really hard to turn the chuck. That's what happened on another Makita drill I took apart. It was a corded, and I didn't have the spindle that comes off the motor engaged properly with the cog that's on the chuck, and it could barely turn the chuck because it just wasn't engaged properly. So when you're fiddling with gears, you always want to make sure that they're engaged properly, all the little bearings are in the right spot, and also that everything's in the right spot. Of course, you can run it with parts in the wrong spot, but it's going to work a lot better with all the parts in the appropriate spot. So I hope you learned something from this video. If I made any mistakes, sorry. This is one of the first tools that I've restored like that. I know that it wasn't really a restoration, but it's an old tool, and I cleaned it and re-greased it, so that counts as a restoration to me. It would be nice to get a new sticker for it. So if anybody knows where I can get the sticker, or even if I can just make my own, tell me in the comments. And also, in case you're wondering, this drill is made in Japan. Don't know if you can see it there, it's kind of worn, but it's made in Japan. And it is about it's about 260 to 800 RPMs. So it is quite torquey, this little drill. Plenty of torque. I really wasn't expecting it to be as strong as it is, but it has a lot of power. And also something interesting to point out. So this is a 6980FD Makita. This is also a 2005. But look at the color difference. Now I think that color difference is due to the fact, well, first of all, this one may have been exposed to a different amount of light or something, but also, don't know if you can see that. This is a PA6 GF30 shell, and this is a PC GF15 shell, so that might have something to do with the color difference. And then there's this 2004 Makita drill, which is also PC GF15, and you can see even it's slightly different color, although not much. So thank you for watching. Check out my Patreon, link is in the description, and I will see you next time.